Hi! In this video, I'll be making a quick breakdown of this scene from Kiki's delivery service, which I recreated in Blender. So first I just modeled the base, then added the roof, the windows, and all the other objects. So there's not that much to the modeling part actually. I just used simple objects like cubes and cylinders and then just adjusted them to create a bakery. And for these trees in the background, they're just made up of multiple leaves grouped together, just as you can see here. And they're not that hard to make actually. If you have the sapling tree generator enabled in your preferences, you can just add a tree, then add the leaves, delete the main tree, and go into edit mode, select some of the leaves and delete the rest. Then you can duplicate them just like I did here. Add the new material and go into the shader editor. And from here you can add an emission shader, a color ramp, a gradient texture and set it to quadratic, then an invert color node, and finally a mapping node and a texture coordinate node. And that's pretty much all. It's pretty simple and really effective for making trees for anime style renders in Blender. And back to the bakery, for the shading, I created one main shader that I just replicated to all the other objects and just simply adjusted some of the noise textures and the colors. So to create this type of shading, first you can add two Voronoi textures and the noise texture, then add a mix node, a mapping node, an object info node, and a texture coordinate. Then connect the mapping node to the two Voronoi textures and set them to smooth F1. Then add another mix node to connect the two Voronoi textures and set it to soft light. Then add a color ramp, and as you can see here, we're already starting to get some really nice looking results. And you can play around with the settings of the noise texture and the Voronoi texture nodes. And then to have some control over the shadows as well, you can add a diffuse BSDF, a shader to RGB, and a color ramp. And by adjusting this color ramp here, now you can get control over the shadows, so you can adjust the color and the opacity. You can also add an emission shader if you want to. So this is pretty much the basic shader. Now you can just play around with the settings of the noise textures to get some different results. So as you can see here, most of the objects in this scene have the same type of shading, they just have different colors and settings. So it's pretty much the same process. And I also created this shader for the glass of the bakery. And for the door, I just made this really simple shader with a color ramp set to constant. And for the ground, I added my own texture and added a color ramp to adjust its color. And also for the final render, I set the shadows to high bit. And that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching.